Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this June 2nd version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. We're glad that you are here with us today. If you want to find our content, go to EOA.network. EOA.network takes you to a link tree where you can find the location of our Facebook and our website, our Roku, all of the different places where our content is distributed. Here in just a little bit, we're going to have LGSD Superintendent George Mendoza will be here with us. How are you, man?
Good, good.
Things
Feels
going
like
all right?
a Monday. Yep.
Yeah.
Second Monday of the week.
Yeah.
Things.
I don't think I had ever heard second Monday or what do you call Thursday?
First Friday.
First Friday.
Yeah.
I don't
It
think
cuts
I'd ever.
the week down to one day.
That's,
Wednesday.
and what do you call Wednesday?
Well,
Hump
I mean,
day.
everybody calls
That's
it
what hump
that.
day, yeah. Yeah.
I don't really call it a day. Just get through it.
Yeah.
Basically.
So yeah, how are things?
Good. Just it's slow.
Yeah.
Well, it will be for a week or so.
Yeah.
And then it'll be right back to. Only thing going on right now really is Little League. Everything's pretty much wrapped up for the school year.
Yeah.
Graduation was on Saturday, or Sunday, excuse me. Sunday. I don't know. They don't usually do graduation on Sunday, do they?
Well, this is the second year, and
That's
I'm not
crazy.
sure, so it must be a thing.
Well, yeah, I wonder what. I mean, no offense to anybody, but with as many Mormons that live here, how does that fly?
Yeah. Well, I don't
They
know.
don't play sports on Sundays.
Well, you know, I mean, you and I talked that they're practicing and doing stuff on Sunday. So, but I don't know. I mean,
Well, not the ones I know.
George will be
this
here.
year. Like they didn't practice on Sundays or play.
Yeah.
I know kids that missed games on Sundays this year.
because they,
The
yeah.
Religion, yeah, 100%. Especially like travel ball kids.
yeah. Well, I know that, you know, Breyer, I was talking to her dad, Kyle, the other day, and he was just saying, like, yeah, it's, you know, compared to when he played, yeah, there's just a lot more. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. We'll ask George here in a minute, because that, I think I'd be curious to know is why they moved it to Sunday.
Yeah, it's just strange that they do it on Sunday because then people feel like they got to have their party on Saturday before. You know what I mean?
I guess
Or you're cramming a party in after graduation on a Sunday night. Like,
Yeah.
who wants to do that?
Yeah. Well, and EOU's graduation is not for a couple more weeks, right? So
Yeah. But it's always like that. It's always behind.
Right, but I
Right.
guess what I'm saying is this not like it's conflicting with something?
No, I don't. Well, here's what it could be conflicting with.
Yeah, what's that?
The playoff games, and they were probably sick of having kids graduate at the
Oh.
track or on the field because the state championships for track were Saturday, so all of our track athletes were over there in Eugene. And then I've actually been on the baseball field with the baseball team when they won a state
yeah.
championship on graduation day.
Yeah,
Where they actually got their diplomas right
Yeah.
there. I recorded that actually.
yeah. So maybe that's it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know.
I watched my first NBA game in like forever yesterday.
The Spurs and the
Yeah, Oklahoma.
That was 2 days ago.
Yeah,
It was an all right game.
yeah.
I'm glad the Spurs won. It's
Yeah.
good to see somebody new in there.
It's kind of funny because I have some of my in-laws. Anyhow, they live in Texas, in the Dallas area. And I said, well, are you going to watch the game tonight? And they're like, oh, I hate the Spurs. And it's like, but it's the state. It's the same state, you know. I mean,
Yeah, but they got the Mavericks
yeah,
in Dallas.
yeah.
They don't. That would be like Beavers fans rooting for the Ducks.
Well,
It's the same state.
right. But if one of them is in the national, I don't know.
Yeah, usually you don't see, especially Beavers fans don't root for the Ducks ever.
Ever, even if they are
Ever.
winning,
Even though the Ducks did beat the Beavers day before yesterday in the regional championship for baseball, and Devin Bell, our local kid, got the save, and so the Ducks are the region champions, and they're going to Texas for the Super Regionals. one mini tournament away from the College World Series. This is the third, 3 out of the last 4 years the Ducks have made the Super Regional. So
That's cool.
yeah, congratulations to Devin.
Yeah.
He's just making his draft stock even better.
I was going to say, do you think he's
He's
got a real chance
100%
at-
getting drafted. There's no question. It's just a matter of where now.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
What year is he there?
He's a senior.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He only went there. This is his only year there. He pitched for 3 years at Western Oregon University and then transferred this year.
Huh. That's cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, you want to do sports?
Let's do it.
All right.
AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit. Lego Minifigure Series 29 is finally here. Excite a young builder and surprise them with one of 12 collectible characters from a Lego Minifigure Series 29 mystery box. It's for boys and girls ages 6 and up. Each box contains one minifigure with there's 12 different ones. Soccer goalkeeper, marine biologist, tuba player, unicorn elf, monster hunter, robot T-Rex, a chocolatier, a Boba Cup fan, a Bionicle cosplayer, a mysterious Ronin, a cute witch, and a trash monster. And you can find them all at Hobby Habit in LeGrand, just for the fun of it. Congratulations to the LHS softball all-GOL selections, softball all-GOL selections. Maddie Sievert, first team infield. Kira Council, first team infield. Callan Harnack, first team infield. Cassidy Hogue, first team utility. And then second team was Harnack at pitcher, Cassidy Hogue at pitcher, and Peyton Daggett in the outfield. And then the baseball all-GOL players. First team, Landon Hood in the infield, Bragan Anderson in the infield, Savon Schaub in the outfield. Ryder McElmoyle was the first team catcher. Derek McElmoyle was the first team DH. Dean Finley was the first team pitcher. And then the second team guys were Pierce Lara in the infield, Aiden Bonanno in the infield, Carter Harden at first base, and Riley Krantz in the outfield. Embler Girls Track and Field won their second OSAA 1A state championship in a row. Congratulations, girls. That picture's courtesy of Kager Brassett. And then congratulations to Renee Hutchison, Emily Huntsman, and Brogan Hedgepeth. Renee won the 4A OSAA Track and Field High Jump State Championship. Emily won the Para 100 and Shot Put on the girls' side, while Brogan won the discus on the boys' side. The Tiger girls finished in 5th place as a team, while the boys finished in 8th. You can go to our social media to see a list of all of the qualifiers and placers for the Tigers. Brogan Hedgepeth had the farthest throw in the whole state at any level, including 6A, 5A, so that's pretty cool for him. The photos courtesy of Taryn McElmoyle and the bus driver. AM Sports Report brought to you by Hobby Habit, just for the fun of it.
All right. Good stuff. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I got sent those pictures, right? And so I text the girl. I'm like, well, who do I give
Photo
credit to? She goes, Taryn McElmoyle. And I said, okay. So I get the post all made, post it, and I'm looking at the pictures, and Taryn McElmoyle's in the picture.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, and she goes, well, she handed her camera to the bus driver. So I'm like,
There
all
you
right,
go.
well, we'll just credit both of them.
Yeah, unless you take photos, you don't really think about that everybody needs to be credited, because you appreciate when people credit you for photos. So
Yeah.
I'm sure,
Although it very rarely happens.
right. But I'm sure the bus driver, like, oh.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who the bus driver is,
Yeah.
but thank you, bus driver. It's a good picture.
Yeah. Maybe his new nickname is going to be BD.
Well, maybe he can
bus
be the
driver.
new, he could start packing a camera. Why not? If I was a bus driver, that'd be that. What else are you going to do?
Yeah.
Sleep in the bus? No, I'll start taking pictures on the side.
That's not a bad idea.
Maybe I need to
They're
become
burning,
a bus
they're
driver.
burning time anyhow.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's take a look outside. And it's pretty this morning. And let's look at that weather graphic, Bennett. 82 today, man.
And with precipitation. Ugh.
Is it? I can't.
88%.
88%. Is that what that says?
Ridiculous.
So
we're going to get thunderstorms today for sure.
Oh, because it'll be warm and then cool, I'll bet, in the evening. Yeah, shower and thunderstorms. All right, I'm kind of looking at this graphic for the first time. Then it's a little cooler. Saturday, Sunday, over the weekend. Yep. Well, all right. Well, hey, glad you guys are here with us. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with LeGrand Superintendent George Mendoza.
Eastern Oregon is full of interesting people, with interesting minds and interesting things to say. Here at EO Live, we're committed to connecting you to these intriguing people with EO Talks. We let our special guests share their ideas and life experiences with deep, open, engaging, and inquisitive conversations. You'll also be informed in depth on some of the most recent and relevant events, issues, and more. EO Talks on EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon, now on Roku. EO Live is your connection to Eastern Oregon. Tune in for a variety of engaging and relevant local content. See Brent and Dodsey goof and gab with local guests on EO Live's morning talk show, AM Live. Watch Dodsey on EO Live Sports to get the latest sports information and interviews with local coaches, athletes, and more. On EO Talks, we have intriguing and in-depth conversations with people from around Eastern Oregon. Master Chef Russ Gleason shares delicacies from his golden recipe book on cooking across the hall. Stay in the know about what's happening at the sheriff's office on Keeping It Clear with Cody Bowen. To stay in the loop on local arts and music events, catch the EOA Arts Update with Ricky Joe Hickey. We're available across the board, including Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Fire, and of course, our very own website, EOA.tv. We even have our own Roku channel with 24/7 live streaming content. You can also listen to our shows on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and many other popular podcast apps. EO Live, your connection to Eastern Oregon.
All right, we're back. George Mendoza, how are you, man?
Always all right. Good to see you, Brent.
Good to
Dodsey,
see you.
good to see you too.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So how you been?
Just grinding. I've been doing well. You know, I have a life where I usually tell myself I'm always all right. So I'm not too high, not too low, somewhere in the middle. Usually upward trajectory, upwards, onwards.
Yeah. Well, I just turned 65. And so
Happy birthday.
Yeah, thank you. So that's been like an adjustment. So yeah, I say I'm all right, but it's like, oh man, this is just, it's a grind. It's hard. So yeah, because you never look at yourself as being, you know, you always think of yourself as being what you have in your mind. You're younger, you know. Yeah. Not until you go to lift something, it's like, well, I used to be able to do that all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I think it's an annoying time when we get older and things aren't working like they used to, or things aren't as strong as they used to be.
Yeah, well, and there's no stopping it. And I guess that's the point, is that there's a lot of things in life, whether it's your job or whatever it is you're doing, that you can't. You can only mitigate it. You can only deal with it.
Yeah.
You know, you can't change it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. So, high school graduation
Yes.
was just, how'd that go? Everything?
It was a great graduation. About 145 graduates. It'll be around a 93% graduation rate for next year, about a 96% completion rate. Might be as high as 97%. Great kids. You know, it was packed gym, right? So I usually like that kind of vibe of, and that had about 1,100, 1,200 people there, all kind of cheering on and supporting high school kids, that juice is usually like, I want that to be
The feeling.
the norm for a lot of things that
Yeah.
people really care, people really value, people really invest and
Yeah.
put into our kids. Graduation is a really good culmination thing, but I think we need that throughout life.
Mm-hmm.
So that cheerleading, that supporting.
Yeah. Do you remember your graduation or your graduations well? I mean, how? Yeah.
I do. It was a good. I mean, those are great days, great memories, great experiences. We had good speeches too, and
Yeah.
and I'll just say what kids have to say or what people have to say is it's important and it's good as it
Yeah.
relates to graduation. I like that.
Well, and I don't know how it was when you graduated, but we have more valedictorians than we ever did before. Yeah. Which then, and they each have
Yeah.
a speech.
3
or-
minutes, 2
yeah.
minutes. Yes. 2 minutes.
My class had 2.
We had 6 this year.
Yeah. And so then that has changed the dynamic a little bit of graduations over the years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do we are the kids more excelling? Have our standards changed? I mean, I've never thought about this.
Yeah, no. I think that's a good question. I think it's definitely been a little bit more standard 4.0, right? But also there used to be more weeding out. So like if you took AP courses or baccalaureate type courses, that they might have more value, and then it could be weighted to a higher extent to determine more of a true valedictorian. Now, you can just get a 4.0. It doesn't matter if you took an AP class or you didn't.
Right.
And so you're in the pool or you're in the mix.
Yeah.
We have other things too that I would just say make it less complicated for people to potentially get a 4.0. But there used to be more weighted, I'll just use that, weighted grades, weighted factors, and there's less of it now.
Yeah.
And it's probably from people complaining, saying, my kid didn't get the opportunity. And so it made people think like, well, these tougher classes or these weighted classes aren't going to count as much anymore.
Yeah.
And then
That
it's
kind of sounds like our society.
just kind of watered it down.
Yeah.
Because it's like a risk to take a high, I'll just say
An
a
honors
high rigor
class or
course,
an
yeah,
AP
a really
class.
tough course that's going to require more time, more dedication, more focus, more work, more research, more whatever.
Right.
If people take those, the risk is that they might get a B or they
Yeah,
might get A minus, or a C. And
If you're taking trig or statistics at EOU as a senior, it's a lot different than taking algebra 1.
yeah,
It's a huge difference. But
so
there's
they're-
seniors that are taking each of those.
Yeah. So rigor, I'll just say, rigor got watered down a little bit in that sense. Maybe not saying rigor. Rigor is probably the wrong word, but the concepts and skills that people need that get taught in the certain higher level courses have not been thought of as the most important factors anymore.
So I've been hearing some news wafting, and I have no way of knowing how true it is, but is there a trend, are there some trends in when computers started being a part of everyday instruction and kids learning differently and that affecting them? I mean, is there something there, that
Yeah.
you've seen? Yeah.
Yeah, I think over time, we rely.
I mean, and it's a negative.
Yeah, I'll just say we rely on the internet or we rely on Google.
Right.
We rely on ChatGPT.
Well, right,
to-
yeah.
So the trend is, and it's probably for all of us too. Like I look at ChatGPT too, and it might create more efficiencies for me, and it might help me kind of streamline things quicker, whatever you want to say. Kids aren't they're the same.
Right.
They're probably just as even worse. But yeah, I would say people look to tools and resources and take advantage of those tools and resources, and then it creates kind of a reliance on that versus yourself, which is what's happened or what happens over time.
Is there any, from that strategic standpoint and other factors?
Yes.
Yeah. Are there any, thoughts that you guys are having in changing overall?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
talk to me
so
about
we're next year going to have an AI policy, artificial intelligence policy, and the use of it, and we'll have kind of like what is green light, what is yellow light, what is red light, in terms of practices that take place for students and for staff. And in it, we basically want to start saying, you know, try to get kids to do as much writing as they can, or get them to do as much thinking as they can, and show their work, show their concepts and skills, and AI can enhance afterwards, but not necessarily AI should replace anything. So especially in writing, a lot of people get concerned about AI doing a lot of writing for you. So having a lot of drafts or a lot of work that takes place in class, with maybe some potential edits that happen through AI afterwards, but we need to mitigate a lot of these types of things where people start to say, we want to start using artificial intelligence earlier. The reality is like, I've given that example of, you're the writer, you're the person that's driving the car, you're the person that's riding the bike, and you might need for an e-bike a little bit of power up, or you might have the car that gives you a little bit more juice somewhere, or has some tools for you. But the reality is you're still got to be in charge, and you have to know what to do. And then you can ask something to enhance something for you, but the reality is like it's still you. And that's really how it has to be for us throughout life, I think. It's our decision making. Like, I think I gave people, like, it's your heart, it's your relationships, it's your ability to understand people, or it's your ability to lead, it's your ability to think, it's your ability to strategize. Try not to let a computer or a phone tell you what to do, or direct you too much. Like, you can ask it some questions, but ultimately you're the human that has to, implement the action and live with the results.
Yeah. Well, and it is a tool, and it is so, even for me, constructing emails has always been hard. Anytime I've got to sit down and type, and it requires a lot of focus for me, and so on and so forth. So
Yeah.
if I can sit in the car for a few minutes and dictate a message or an email.
Yeah, the essence of what you want.
Right,
yeah.
and then there's a button that says polish, and I can polish that, and it'll just formulate that and correct it's still me. The problem is that it doesn't sound like me anymore.
And everybody knows that.
And everybody knows that, yeah. And so, it sounds way more professional than what it would be if I spent, a half an hour polishing that myself, and so on and so forth. So I guess the problem I see is that AI is not really, I'm sure it is trainable. There's a process, but it's kind of hard to say, just make the sentence structure good, correct the grammar mistakes and the spelling, and, it's hard to reduce it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, do you experience that? Is that kind of? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely experience everything that you just said, whether it's even me trying to help to get a draft of something, or the students too, or staff members. We almost have to get to like, keeping your voice and making it sure that it sounds like you.
Yeah.
Should be like the essence of it all. But I also know that if you allow something to make it more professional, or make it grammatically sound. Sometimes I just say, keep everything except fix the grammar, fix sentence, fix punctuation.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's my simple, like, I don't want you to mess with me too much. Just just look to see if, do like a quick spell check. That kind of thing is fine.
Yeah. Sometimes if I'm a little aggravated and it's a little edgy, what I dictate in, it takes that away. That's really good.
Neutral.
It changes it into like a way more sophisticated way of delivering the message. So
Yeah. I understand.
So talk to me about money. Last time we talked, you were dealing with the shortfall and the PERS, and we've kind of gone into all of that. Yeah.
No, I could always, money's a big deal in education, and our enrollment has been down for a long time. And I would just say with the impact of losing around 330 to 350 kids, has been hitting us slowly, and we've been doing our attrition, and now we did about $1.6 million in cuts. So I reduced a lot of positions, whether teaching or classified or district level support positions too, and then I've cut about $178,000 in our general fund from other programs and budgets that we have. So we got to that amount. I think it's hard on people, right? I think morale is still, for the most part, good, but when people are seeing, folks leaving or folks being, their positions being taken, it's hard on them, and it's hard on those types of, relationships too into the future. I think it's, we're in a good place because there's a lot of care and respect for one another, but I would say it's hard. That's the reality of that. We're lucky that a lot of attrition has happened where people have resigned, and where I've been able to just basically replace or reassign people into those positions. They're just not doing what they once were. But folks, it's a hard time when you're making reductions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 1.6 million is the short version of the types of reductions that we've had to make. And I would say a lot of it is declining enrollment, declining birth rate, kids moving to more online, kids either moving away to, or families moving away, but homeschooling more often.
So, and COVID upset the basket in a number of different
Yes.
places. I mean, that was kind of at least my perception of that was that was one of the
I'll
tipping
just say
point,
the little polarization, a little more on, you got to wear a mask, you got to get immunized, you got to do this, a lot of requirements for public health or public safety, and some folks didn't like that, right? And then the other parts are, there was declining birth rate starting to happen, people having less kids just as the economy wasn't as strong, or just they didn't feel like the value
and
of
that
the dollar.
meaning they started having fewer kids.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a bell a few years ago, and now that bell is kind of hitting, or that dip is hitting.
Yeah. And so that's been happening. And then online, once we started saying, hey, everybody has to do online for a year to a half a year, families started to see their kids doing online. And then for those kids, some kids really liked it. Some families really liked it. So then it also shifted them towards enjoying homeschooling. And that's just that's like part of, I'll just say, the economy of how the machine works. Once people get more options to do other things, people start choosing those options, and then you get the effect of that.
Well, and I think, and we saw the same thing with people working remotely at home.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, I can get paid the same and do the same and stay at home,
Yeah.
And the goods and bads with that,
Yeah.
Some people function really well, others, they enjoy less accountability and they take advantage. So you got the full gamut.
I would tell you, I've said it before maybe, but crumble. There's decisions that we make that kind of increase rigor or increase expectation, structure, whatever, order, discipline, achievement. And then there's decisions that we make that are like less expectation, a little more chaotic, a little more looser, a little more do what you want, do what you think, a little more, you make the final choice, whatever. And I just would say once we make those decisions as organizations or as rules, there's a propensity for people to choose simple. I wind up saying, if you give society lots of choices, there are people that will still stay in the high structure, high order, but there's also a lot of people will say, I'll take advantage of that rule because that rule helps me to do this that I want to do, and I really like that idea, so I'm going to take that one. So, paid leave Oregon is one of them to me. I love people being with their family and taking care of healthcare needs. But the reality is, when you say, I'm going to give you, up to 90 days a year for you to be able to take off, to take care of yourself or take care of your loved ones, guess what people say?
I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to take advantage of that. And guess what that means?
Yeah.
You're going to be gone. And if you're the teacher or the classified staff member or the superintendent, imagine me being gone 90 days a year because I want to take care of other people.
Right.
But the reality is that's good, right? It's good, but at the same time, it crumbles organization because you are no longer having somebody consistently there.
Right.
Yeah, and then the cost of it is I have to pay the first 40% of that cost. They contribute 60% of that cost to the employee, but then I have to pay for their substitute on top of that. So it's like we create these rules that we think are really healthy, but it's sometimes not healthy for the organization if you want greatness.
Right. Yeah, it'd be, I mean, it's not unlike if Kyle took time off and we needed to replace him. I mean, and that's kind of like a teacher.
Well, and are they as trained as Kyle? Yeah. Are they as knowledgeable as Kyle?
No.
Have they put in, 800, I shouldn't say 800, 5,000 hours of time to be good at the craft? Like,
right. And the point is that, neither Kyle nor a teacher it's not an easy slot to fill.
yeah.
Because you have people every day that are counting on that particular person.
Yeah.
And, I mean, where if it's I don't know, if it's a utility worker or something, maybe other people can fill in that gap or whatever.
Well,
but if it's a leadership position,
Yeah.
yeah,
So wait, do they get paid on these 90 days?
Oh, yeah.
40.
They
Well,
can take off 90 days a year
they
and
get,
get paid.
40%.
No, up to 90%, up to 90 days per year,
Yeah.
then a reset.
Is that FMLA or similar?
It can be concurrent with Family Medical Leave Act and Paid Leave Oregon. You want to get them to be concurrent if possible.
And,
Otherwise,
but they
you
only
could
get
even
40%
do
of their pay.
No. There's 100% of the pay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, the district contributes 40%.
Yeah.
The employee
Oh, they're paying
contributes
in overtime out of each
60%.
paycheck?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
But and let's just say it's about 1%, right? So the state requires about 1% of the money that you earn to go towards this fund, right?
Yeah.
And the district contributes 40%, the employee contributes 60%, whether they have, can put in enough for 90 days or not or whatever, but they just already have that because it's a right or it's a law.
So where's that swing? Like, so if you look at it like from the financial standpoint, does that gain the district money or lose?
Oh, lose a lot because now I'm paying 40% more of something I never paid of.
Yeah,
And
but
then if I pay for your subs,
if nobody uses it,
yeah, no, it just goes to a big pot that just goes to the state, and it's
oh,
just,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
well, and then on top of that, like I said, then you have people gone a lot more.
Yeah, I would take 9. I'm sick. Thought you catch me
Well,
out
there's
there
a
fishing.
There's a process to it, but yeah, I mean, it's, and I'm for like
Right.
people that are not healthy or need
Yeah.
time should take it, right? I find with mothers raising their children and connecting and all the things that happens, or fathers and people, like if you were to die, Brent, or you were to be, like, you can have your son because he loves you, whoever, it could be a family member,
Yeah.
take time to be close to you and to help you during a difficult time. Like it's good in many ways, right, for the human condition, but it's hard on the organizational capacity or effectiveness, especially if you're dealing with humans and you're like, I sometimes have that. It's going to sound really basic and dumb maybe, but it's like, it's hard to be great when you're gone a lot. It's hard.
And that applies to students or staff.
Yeah, it's
right?
hard. It's hard to be great, and when, and you're the most knowledgeable, or you're the most skilled, or you're the most professionally trained. You're the most. You're the person we hired to do these great things, but when you're gone, I mean, the greatness is hard to accomplish when you're gone.
Well, and a teacher or a coach or whatever it might, that is just such a teacher is so unique in the sense that they have an individual connection that they built over time with that student. Maybe they've been watching them come up and finally there. It's just, you can't just replace that
Yeah.
overnight.
Yeah.
So one more question about that since we're here. So then this 60% and 40% is kind of put into this virtual bank to draw from. what if they don't have enough built up to draw from?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
It's once the law started and it was enacted.
Wow.
you have
What
your-
percentage of our staff, our school district staff, use it?
You know, I would probably say, honestly, 10% or less, 5 to
Okay.
10%. It's not, I mean, when you think about it, but if you're going to have a child.
Right,
you-
you're gonna have, right?
And why wouldn't you? Back to these, why wouldn't you take advantage
Yeah.
of these types of things? You know, why wouldn't you? And
Have
if
your
you-
dang baby
Yeah,
in the
but
summer.
see, I
And if
guess I
you're-
don't,
and
and I don't, you know,
and if you've got a medical condition,
right,
and you got, you know, and if you got a family member that has a healthcare condition,
yeah,
and I mean, they're in their brains, right? And there's a feeling of like, why wouldn't I have those days, and I can take those days, and
Yeah.
there's only so much days that I'm going to have with Kyle.
Yeah.
You know, just whatever it happens. Go ahead and make your point. Sorry.
right. But I guess I'm trying to, I mean, I've heard of situations though when a family will have a baby and the mom and the dad both take off time,
And they can,
and they can.
and they do.
And right, and now,
At
I
times,
mean, I
yeah.
guess I would strategically plan that. I mean, if there
Yeah.
were two working people, a mom and a dad, certainly the mom's going to take off some time
Yeah.
ahead of time, and then the dad can take off some.
Yeah.
I mean, anyhow.
Yeah. No, it's whatever was the right way to put it. It's fine. I usually get to like, I may not like it. It's fine. It's a law. It's a rule that was made for really good, noble-minded reasons.
Right.
But the impact, it creates crumble. You know,
Crumble.
that's usually for me. There's a lot of things that, you know, when we said we're all going to online, I remember telling the state long ago, you're going to crumble brick and mortar. You're going to crumble the in-person relationship. You're going to crumble the way people see schools as a regular, you know, part of life to attend and support.
Yeah.
And it does. Every time we make rules that create loosey,
Yeah.
people take them.
Right.
And then don't be surprised when you see crumble. That's
They
the
take the path
that-
of least resistance.
And for them, it might be like individually, I need that for that time, for that moment.
Yeah.
But the reality, again, is like you crumble all the other systems that have a lot of structure and order to them because they're now basically a slave to the crumble. And then you want greatness, but you just made a bunch of rules that created less greatness.
Right. Well, and I see this in families too. In a whole, I mean, you see this everywhere, but it's kind of interesting. I see this with family traditions sometimes. So I've known families that have had like, you know, they go away every Labor Day. They go away and they spend time together.
Yeah.
You know, and they've been doing that for years and years and years. And all of a sudden they decide, well, we don't get along as well as we did, or mom and dad are not there,
Yeah.
and that's why we did it. And so then they kind of let it go, and they have no idea what they're losing.
Yeah,
They have no,
Yeah.
you know,
it crumbles.
it crumbles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and
Fractured relationship, whatever, disconnected. Keep going. Yeah.
and the truth is with fractured relationships is they would never heal unless you were in the same spot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's only when you're around the table as like, okay, I guess I'm not as mad at that
Yeah.
person as I thought I was.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Team, and together, like
Yeah.
takes time, takes energy, takes focus, takes
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
And when you decide to not do team, together, you start going in other directions and doing other things and other priorities. And
Yeah.
that might be fine, right? Especially, I mean, if you wanted that. But the reality, too, is if you do want team and you want together and you want people being really effective, then that's the truth. You have to do that more often.
Yeah. So I was thinking about a question earlier, and this might be a hard question for you to answer. Objectively,
Yeah.
put it that way. I know you can answer it. So when you look at how things have changed, and there's more homeschooling, there's more online learning, there's more of all of this.
Yeah.
Has that affected the overall quality of the education?
Yeah.
In a good, I mean, has it gone
No.
down, or I mean,
Yeah, no, not good. Crumble again, right? When you start to crumble institutions or stabilizing forces and you take away from them, you're not going to create more greatness. You are going to create more crumble. So if you say I'm homeschooling and then you're really not homeschooling, you just don't want the district to tell you stuff about attendance, or you don't want the district to tell you stuff about behavior, or the district to say that you need more this, more that, more reading, more math, more something. And you're like, well, I'm just going to take my kid and my kid's going to do things at home. but then and then you don't invest a lot
Right.
of time in teaching and learning with your child. And then you then say, okay, well, I think I've had enough of my kid being at home. I want them back in school. Well, then they're 2 years or 3 years behind, and then they come into the classroom with their peers at the same age, and they don't have concepts and skills even close, and they need a lot of focus and attention. And that's hard on the teacher, and that's hard on the students who have to then go slower on their concepts and skills. And if they're behaviorally challenged, and then they're in there, then that's hard on the students, and it's hard on the teachers, and it's hard on the personal student who's always being told, do better, do this, become more structured, become more organized, be more, follow these directions, follow these rules, etc. So that creates crumble. That creates people also irritated or annoyed that someone's taking that much time or that much attention. Go ahead.
Well, my question to that is, and it's a very basic question, why did we ever do it in the first place? Like, when we were kids, there was none of that crap. There was very few kids homeschooled. Very few.
Yeah.
And nobody went online. Why didn't they just say, why didn't somebody just step up and say, kids are going to school, period?
There was a lot of that in meetings, but when the public health department said, COVID is spreading like this, and you have all of these opportunities for kids to become super spreaders to their families or to the communities, they didn't want that kind of stuff.
But I think, are you
No,
asking
I'm
before
talking,
that?
yeah, before that.
Yeah.
Why did we get to this point?
Well,
Because it was bad before COVID even hit.
Yeah, no, but there is a. I guess I've used the word tribalism before. You have certain tribes, right? Some of us are. I'm going to call it. Some of us are Patriots fans.
Ugh.
Some people really like the Seahawks. Some people.
You guys just got AJ
some people.
Green.
Yeah, nice. They're going to compete.
How did you become a Patriot?
Hey, Drew Bledsoe long ago, Lori Malloy, and then it became Tom Brady. But the fast version of that kind of stuff, though, is you meet other homeschool families, or you meet other people that have similar, ideals, values, etc. And then you just kind of shift towards that. That person is a little bit like how I am, or thinks similar to how I think, and I'm going to do that. And that kind of stuff has been happening for a while, but then when they reinforce and then they say, we're going to create these pods and we're going to do these things and we're going to actually make it even better than what it once was, which is smart and strategic. People do those kinds of things. And again, it's like people, when you say that to each their own, like to each their own, they can do that kind of stuff. But there's an impact. There's always like second order, third order impacts to decisions that people make, and then we have to figure out how to live with that, or how to how to mitigate that, whatever, how to overcome that, or how to just accept that. Mm-hmm. And that's part of life. That's how it works.
Well, and I think that homeschooling is more efficient. I mean, at least that when I grew up with homeschool kids, which you didn't have very many homeschoolers, it'd be like, what?
Yeah.
But it's like, well, yeah, I can be done with my
But
stuff
I would
by
tell you
noon.
that back to these, like parents do say, public education, right, whether it's kids being mean or, other kids that come in that have been homeschooled or have done online but really didn't do much work, set their kids behind because, the kid's not on level, et cetera, not behaving as they should, so parents get annoyed by that. Like there's all these little tension points, that happen, and people are consumers. Like they make decisions based on what they like or they don't like, and they do that for schools too. They do that in life. Let me make this last point.
Yeah.
that I think now in today's age with social media too, and what people see on the internet, young kids. I remember when I was a freshman or a sophomore, I started to know a lot more about life as a freshman or a sophomore. And I'm going to say on the negative side, whether it's drugs and alcohol or whether it's sexuality and so on. But as the internet has given more, it's now kids in 7th grade or 8th grade
way earlier.
are exposed, or 6th grade. Like they're exposed to things that you and I were not exposed to until we were in high school or above. Mm-hmm. And that grows them up in a different way. And then what happens is when they interact with one another and their supercharged behaviors or supercharged points of view, that's hard on kids or hard on families too. So then they want to protect. And they want to figure out how do I mitigate this kind of stuff. So they make choices. That's part of life now.
If you could, looking at this grand, I mean, and we spend a lot of time talking about trends and how they've gone over the years and so on and so forth. From a parent standpoint, or even from a superintendent standpoint, what is like, what can be done? What is, if you could reach with a magic finger into the curriculum or into the system and say, we can change this thing and it's going to have longer lasting, what are some of those things that you would put your finger on?
Well, I mean, I don't know about, like, we need to be really good at reading. So people being able to understand and be able to read on level 3rd grade, that is like a number one thing for me. We need to be on level in math. And the more that, whether it's 5th grade or 8th grade, kids are on level in math, concepts and skills, and be able to problem solve, be able to use logic or reason, be able to communicate and give feedback to those types of things, like the better. We, like for school, we need feedback and engagement. We need relationships. We need healthy, productive team, collaborative relationships too as part of society. And we need to be looking for those types of things on a regular basis. You shouldn't be thinking to do things individually and just, I'm just going to be an individual and I'm just going to do things on my own and it's all about me. Like the reality is that might feel normal maybe as a young person, but the more that we age, the more we're like, no, you know, society needs people supporting one another, taking care of one another, giving back to one another, serving. But back to like math first, or reading first, writing and problem solving, math concepts and skills, engagement with one another, high levels of collaboration, high levels of movement. I'm usually big on people need to do project-based learning. People need to do like applied hands-on, and people need to talk often about what they're learning and presenting it to each other so that mutually it's basically the sharing of information and the gathering feedback helps to inform the reflection. And then the deeper knowledge or deeper growth that happens. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I want to see, that I try to make sure that we see. But reading is the foundation, I think, for almost everything.
So, at some point you'll have grandkids.
Yeah.
And, you know, imagining that grandkid or your kids, what are you going to say? Hey, this is really important. I mean, reading with your kids?
Oh yeah, I'm usually like, you know, read 20 minutes. But I would even say, I just spend time with your kid. Just 20 minutes a day of like interacting, hanging out, talking.
Not on your phone, sitting next to each
Yeah.
other, playing on your phone.
You know, I'm going to say the 4 rules, if I can remember them. The 4 rules, I've had a few parents ask me about, like, what are things that you've done, especially they've asked, it's like, well, number 1, you know, love your kid. That's the number 1, love your kid. So spend time with your kid. But number 2 is be involved, right? Love your kid, be involved with your kid. I don't care if it's involved in sports clubs or activities. I don't care if it's involved like in helping them with their homework or involved with reading with them, but be involved with your kid. Number 3 is have high expectations. Like, I expect my kids to do their best in school, or I expect my kids to do well in sports. I expect my kids to keep their rooms clean. I don't care. Like, have high expectations of your child. And then the last one is like, make them feel like they're part of a team or part of a family. Like, always make them feel like all of us make this family a better family, or all of us, you know, get them on a sports club and team, and it's all of you guys working together to create this kind of success. But love them, be involved with them, high expectations, and make them part of, you know, make them feel like part of a team or part of a family. I think that's simple to me, but I think it's very healthy for a lot of children if we do those things.
That's good. About a month ago, we were at the Oregon Trail Center over in Baker City, and I was with my grandkids and was with Cubby. Barrett is his name, but we call him Cubby. And and we were burning some. We'd been through the thing, and I was having a cup of coffee, and he was running around in this little area, and he was done with the interpretive center, and so I turned over a piece of paper, and on the back, this newspaper on the back was a form that you would fill out to become a foundation member of whatever it was, I said, so I like, Barrett, come over here. I want to ask you some questions. We need to fill this up. It's like, okay, so tell me your name. I just asked him a whole bunch but I made it like, hey, this is really important to you. So what's your address? What's your mom's phone number? What's your mom's name? I just asked him just random questions, and every time I would write it down or whatever. And he just engaged.
Yeah.
At first I was doing it just to, keep him contained. But pretty soon he's like into it. And there was something in him that loved me digging into what he's about,
Yeah.
And of course I would ask him questions that I knew that he would know the answer to,
Yeah.
But so we did that for a few minutes, and then he goes, ask me some more questions, and so, I don't know, I had not been with a little kid like that. I think he's 4, not quite that, but it reminded me of exactly what you're saying, how important it is for parents to engage, to show interest, to communicate to that kid wherever
Play
they
with
are.
them, spend
Yeah.
time with them,
Yeah.
talk to them, watch a movie with them,
Yeah.
go on a walk with them. There's all
Yeah.
kinds of little things that we can do, even if it's just saying I love you,
Right.
every day. But break bread if you can break bread with them.
Right.
How was your day?
Right.
How was this thing?
Yeah, the moment you look at a kid's artwork,
Yeah.
or you look at the Lego that they're building,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, then, they just bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to change the subject.
Yeah.
So finish
Okay.
your thought. I got a sports question.
Yeah.
So we just hired a new girls basketball coach at the high school.
Mm-hmm.
I was told only 2 people applied for that job. How is that possible? Like, how are we not getting more people applying for jobs at the high school?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
No.
how?
So at least my anecdotal, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Oh, I know.
That's my point is like, and people think that, right, or
Yeah.
know that. So the labor of love or the passion part has to be very high, because otherwise people think like, gosh, I have, I'll just say a lot of weekends gone
Right.
for a 3-month period or 3.5-month period, and then for us to be great, we got to do stuff in the summer,
Right.
and we got to do a little bit of practices that we can do in the fall too, kind of off season this, off season that, and it takes a lot of skill development and skill requirement, and people look at that and say, you don't pay me enough, or I'm not that passionate.
Yeah, but so when I was a kid, these coaching jobs were highly sought after. They didn't come open very often, and when they did, there was a lot of people that wanted them.
Yeah.
What's changed?
Back to, I'm just going to say the work.
Is it mainly money?
The work, the amount of work or time or effort that you have to put in, then probably the number one is not feeling sometimes the support from parents or support from the community.
Parents are.
And I'll just say, if people are like hard on you when you're giving a lot of who you are to serve, to make an impact, to create greatness, whatever you want to do it, and you're being condemned and criticized and told you're bad or told you did this wrong, whatever. For some of them, it's like, I don't want to put in all this work and put in all this time just to be told that I'm a crappy coach. So then they're like, I don't know, somebody else can do it. And then it works like that.
It's crazy.
And you have to get to a point where, you know, like I was a coach for a long time. I wanted to coach because I love kids, I love sport, I love the impact that we make. I like to see them get better habits and better skills as humans, and I like to see, you know, achievement in terms of success.
Yeah.
And I might have, and I do have, parents that don't always like what I have to say.
Right.
But I'm not like trying to motivate and inspire them all the time.
No.
I'm trying to motivate and inspire the athletes that I'm working with or the people that I'm coaching, and try to create greatness from them, of course, by loving them, or supporting them, or affirming them, or even challenging them. You know, I'm big on like humanity, dignity, compassion, respect, kindness, but also push for excellence, push for greatness, hold them accountable. And I usually think like those are universal things. And if you're upset about playing time, or if you're upset about, like, I can talk a little bit, but the reality is like, you got to put in the work.
Yeah.
You got to be really efficient at this skill or at this thing, and have a lot of success. And playing time will come. I guarantee it, especially the more you're successful. But if you're still not there, you're probably not going to be the number one if you still need to work at it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm just going to say time, probably not enough money, and then feeling not supported.
Yeah. By parents mainly.
Or, you know, whatever, even by me, right? Could be that they don't think that superintendent supports them enough. Could be that they don't think the coaches, the administrators don't support them
That's
enough.
highly unlikely because, like I said, when I was in school, we didn't even know who the superintendent was,
Yeah.
let alone see him at basketball games.
Yeah.
We didn't even, you know how many times I saw the athletic director at a game of mine? Zero.
Yeah. No, but I mean, they might think like, you know, it didn't give us enough money, not paying for all these things, not, you know, so in their brain it could be like,
Yeah.
we're not getting enough resources. But
When a job like that opens, does it open in-house first?
typically in and then out. But yes, a lot of jobs that we have are, but not for coaching, but I would say for almost all the classified or certified jobs, it's a lot of internal,
Yeah.
up to a week, and
Yeah.
then post it to the public
Okay.
after that. And for coaching, sometimes it'll be both basically open internally and externally right off the bat.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Boy, I had a question and it just like, yeah.
Was it sports related?
No, I know what I was going to say. It's like, so coaching, teachers, I mean, it doesn't matter. Anybody who is creating something from nothing, you're going to put a lot of yourself in it. You know, I mean, what I was thinking is like, so Tanya grew a little garden last year. She grew a little bigger garden this way. You know, I would have to have my head examined if I stood out there and looked at the garden with her and told her, you should have done this, you know, because I mean,
Yeah.
she spent time
Yeah.
thinking about the garden. And the application is
Yeah.
there's a coach, if they apply for that job and they get that job, it's going to consume their energy and their thoughts. How can we do this better? How can, you know?
Especially if they want to win.
Right.
But those aren't your carrots in the garden. They are the parents' carrots that
Yeah.
the coach is taking care of.
Right. But the point is there's very few people that are going to give it just a partial effort,
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
No,
and the
there's-
reality
yeah.
too, back to your carrots analogy, which I like, by the way, and parents complain to me too, and we have complaint processes and different things on that, but the reality is like, you know, it's the sport, the coach, and the athlete, and what they're trying to accomplish together, and the parent, for the most part, should just, you know, be there for their child and
Support role.
support their child, basically, because it's like getting in the way or makes it just more difficult for everyone. And the reality for me, I was just thinking about it earlier, and my thought escaped, but the reality is like, we want it to be a successful experience, and everybody needs to be working as a team. I lost the thought.
Well,
But-
I kind of feel like today, it's more acceptable for parents. It happens way more often.
Now I remember my thought.
Okay, there
and
you
it
go.
was really like, we should protect our child, right? If our child is getting hurt emotionally or hurt physically
Yeah.
by playing that sport, parents need to get in there.
Interject 100%.
Yeah, they need to get in there. They need to see what's happening. They need to support their child. They need to question. They need to protect, all the things that a parent should do if a coach is hurting their child physically or mentally. Outside of that,
Know
they
your
should-
role.
they should be cheerleading. They
Know
should
your
be,
role.
Yeah, they should be supporting the coaching or the team. They should be trying to get the best out of everyone too, working in alignment. But when outside of that, like,
Where did that go, though? It used to be like that. Very rarely did you see parents interjecting.
Yeah.
I saw it one time.
yeah, I usually get the sense too that, sometimes we think like our kids might be, college
Better than they
athletes.
are. Yeah.
Or might be, varsity starters, or they might be. I usually arrive to like, if my kid's not going to be an Olympian, or if my kid's not going to be a college athlete, like, I just need to focus on good experiences and good memories, and making sure that it's something that makes them well-rounded, good habits, and great friendships. Like,
But that's society's fault too, though, because we give kids a false sense of grandeur. We do. Like, I'll tell it right here in the GOL, we do it. We give all conference to 9 play. You know what I mean? Like, and then parents are like, "Oh, my kid's an all conference player," and then all of a sudden that kind of builds into the like what you were just talking about. Like, you can't think that your kids, which most people do, they think their kids way better than they are, and then they end up with issues with the coaches because that kid's not getting as much playing time as they have in their head. But it's us, it's society that's feeding that.
mm-hmm. No.
It's a vicious circle, man. It's crazy. It's vicious. I think about it a lot. Trust
Do
me.
you really? Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I think it plays a lot into coaches having hard times with parents, and then you know what I mean, when we give somebody a false idea of what reality is, then of course they're going to run with that.
Yeah.
That's just human nature.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the coach is pinned up against the wall, like.
Well, and I think I'm thinking about when I encouraged my kids to play. When Brady, my youngest son, when I encouraged him to play football, I wanted him to play football because I wanted him to be involved in sports. I wanted him to experience the sports atmosphere and learning to be a team and so on and so forth. Whether he was going to be great or not, I don't know. But part of that was I wanted him to be a part of that, and so I pushed him into it or encouraged him into it. And then you hope that it catches fire. You hope that there's something in him that, and so then if he comes home from a game, it's like, well, I didn't play at all. Then I'm feeling like, well, it's not catching, and so there's that internal thing as a parent to like go to the coach and say, hey, do you think you could just put him in, so anyhow.
And that's the problem. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that,
It's
but that is.
I had that actually happen to me when I was coaching. I had a girl on my team, 8th grade football.
Mm-hmm.
She was partially blind, okay? She was the smallest kid on the team. This is tackle football, 8th grade boys. My son at the time was almost 200 pounds, okay? He was a big boy. I had some big kids. Well, her dad comes to me after a game, why do you always put Molly on the opposite side of the field of where the ball's going? And I said, well, have you ever played football with her? And he said, not really. I said, come to practice. And we threw a couple balls at her. It hit her in the, you know what I mean? And then we had her run a drill where she was involved in physical contact. And I said, it's to protect her. What do you want me to do? You know what I mean? Like, what do you want me to do? Like, I can't put her in there and give her the ball and let her just get killed. I would, it's just.
The reality that you guys make me think of today is like to like release your child to the sport.
100%.
And the experience of that sport, and then affirm them and love them and support them as much as you can so that they continue to have a good experience And that's probably the best thing that we can do. And I'll just say, and if you do think that you have an Olympic athlete or a professional athlete, then get on the same page with each other about how much time, how much effort, how much practice, how much work, how much competitive things, how much elite experiences they want to have so that they can get there if they're that particularly skilled.
Yep.
And then have mutual understandings, talk to the coaches about that, and make sure that everybody's kind of on the same page and working in alignment and have the same belief. Like, that's probably a lot better if you really do think that you have this Olympic athlete or this professional future athlete. And the reality is, if you don't, because most of us don't, then it's really about, like I said, releasing them to the sport, great interactions between the coaches and the administrators, and the experiences and the memories and the habits that the child is learning, and then keeping them just mentally, emotionally, behaviorally, and physically well balanced.
Yeah.
It's just that kind of stuff. I've tried hard myself to be more that person, and I had a collegiate athlete son, and I had a daughter, Sophia, that I thought would be a college athlete, and then I'll just say, just loving them or just supporting them, and asking them, what do you want? Like, what are you trying to accomplish?
Right.
And then how do I help you get there? But if they gave me a vibe like, I don't need that much, I don't want to do that much, I don't care about doing all these other things, and to me it was a little bit like, let it go then.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Speaking of super athlete, Devin Bell and the Ducks are going to the Super Regionals. He got the clothes too.
I
He
saw
got
that.
The save.
Yes, that kid.
Amazing.
Wow.
Talk about fulfilling your dream right there.
Yeah.
He wanted to play D1 baseball so bad.
Well, you know what? You got to go here, don't you?
That's
So
pretty
bad.
soon, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No,
I
it's
just
good.
remember you told me you had an
But
outline.
that's a great story.
Yeah.
That kid
amazing.
has a great family, by the way.
Wanted to play D1 baseball out of high school so bad. Tried so hard. Didn't get to D1. Went to Western Oregon. Played 3 years. All-American.
Did great.
Oregon gives him a shot, and he's just tearing it up.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Really happy for him. He's
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. I just remembered your text message that
Yeah.
you got to get out of here. So,
yeah.
all right.
Thankful for you guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Want to get us out of
Let's
here?
do it. On this day, June 2nd, 1835, P.T. Barnum and his circus begin their first tour of the U.S. 1875, Alexander Graham Bell makes the first sound transmission. 1953, the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II in Westminster Abbey, London, England. 1997, on this day, which is also the year that Drew Bledsoe, a Pacific Northwest kid, went to the Super Bowl and lost, but his best friend was my baseball coach and went to that Super Bowl. Because
Nice.
Drew Bledsoe grew up in
Walla
Ellensburg.
Walla,
Yeah, Walla Walla. Timothy McVeigh found guilty of 1995 Oklahoma City bombing that killed 168. 2024 Chinese spacecraft Chang'e 6 successfully lands on the far side of the moon on a mission to analyze and collect rock samples. The #1 movie in America on this day in 1986, Cobra, with Sly Stallone. And the quote of the day comes from Susan Gale. Sometimes you don't realize your own strength until you come face to face with your greatest weakness. One more time. Sometimes you don't realize your own strength until you come face to face with your greatest weakness.
All right. Hey, thank you, George,
Yep.
for coming in.
Thank you, Brent. Thanks.
We could
Tachi.
always burn a bunch of time.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Enjoy talking to you.
Appreciate it.
All right. Hey, thank you guys for being here. We'll talk to you soon.